What's going on YouTube? This is DreThePlug coming at you live with some more technical heat, and in this video I just want to describe to you guys a business model when it comes down to inventions or ideas, and it's called leasing. Let me go into details and explain to you guys exactly what leasing is. So leasing is one of the most slept on business models out there. So ultimately, when you go in and lease out a product, you'll pretty much go to a company and you'll reveal either an idea or actual invention that you created. Some people, you don't even have to make it. You literally could just have an idea and pitch it to them. A lot of big companies, they refer to this as outside product ideas. Some small companies too, like you'll be surprised if you just go on like some of these websites, you can just see in the section where they'll basically have, hi, we accept outside product ideas from anybody. If you have a good idea, please submit it here, and then we'll pretty much schedule time to really go in and talk about it and explain about it. And if it's good enough, they'll accept that idea. And once they accept the idea, they'll go about actually getting it created and made, so you don't even have to make it in some cases. And some other companies, like I feel like tech type companies, like they'll actually want you to make it, but I mean, there's so many other products out here that's not tech. But like I said, sometimes it may even be a tech company where you don't have to physically have it created or a legit prototype, as long as you can explain it good enough to the point that the company can understand, oh, I know exactly what he's talking about, this will definitely work. A company will look at that, take that idea, and then they'll come up with a specific percentage of how much they will want to give you based off each individual product, which is the product that you came up with. They'll come up with a specific percentage number of each one that's being sold, and they'll give you a piece of the pie basically. I'll end up taking however much percentage is being sold based on each individual item that's being sold that they created. I didn't even have to make it or do anything. The only thing that I have set in stone is the invention that I came up with. You don't have to jump and get a full-blown patent in all cases. You don't always have to do that, but in some cases you do. But that's just something else to just throw out there as a disclaimer. Pretty much that's their whole entire business model of actually making a lot of money, just coming up with an idea or an invention. So yeah, man, this business model is extremely dope. I mean, you get to collect royalties just from coming up with an idea. In most cases, you don't even have to go in and invest time and money to open up a business, create a startup, then see if it actually sells, then actually split all of the money up amongst all of the people that was on your team. Like, you just cut out the entire middleman. You don't have to worry about any of that. You're just the inventor. You're just the person that just came up with the idea. And I have friends, one who's CEO, he have a product and it's booming right now. He's using the same exact business model. And I know somebody else who basically did the same exact thing. He just made a product at his house and he's using the same exact business model. He's pretty much collecting royalties from his invention that he came up with. He didn't create it, he just pitched it to a big company that just so happened to accept outside product ideas. So it's crazy, it's really dope. So people who are using this business model, separate times, separate days, two totally different types of people. They both separately told me out of the complete blue, as going into details about that leasing idea, they're just like, man, I just wish that I just stick with this leasing deal, and I hope it just continues to grow and improve. Because I mean, owning a company, like, it's fine and dandy and all, but it's a lot of time, work, and effort that goes into it versus actually leasing out a product. You just literally make money in your sleep and just collect the royalties. And both of them told me that, like, individually, if they had to pick, they would much rather take the route of actually leasing their product out and collecting those royalty checks without having to do anything or really have a lot of stress whatsoever, because you're just the inventor. Of course, there's always gonna still be people that's gonna more so want to take that startup route and have full control over everything, of course. But I'm just saying, just the fact that you have the option of actually leasing out an idea, if you wasn't the type of person that was super into the business side of things, but more so in the inventor side of things. So typically, just looking at the numbers, right? So 90% of startups fail. So out of the gate, you kind of wonder, like, why do startups fail like that? And in most cases, because it costs a lot of money to actually create a prototype or even make an invention from scratch that nobody else has ever created before. Because in most cases, you're gonna need a legit person behind the scenes creating it, making it. Then you're gonna have to go in and actually file a patent. It needs to be a legit patent so nobody else go in and copy it. That's gonna cost money if you're not somebody who knows somebody who's inside of that field, or you can write up your own technical document from scratch and have a clear understanding of it in most cases. And then on top of that, you have to also market it, sell it, actually get people out there all across the world to want to actually buy the product, invest into it. It just takes a whole lot of work when it actually comes down to creating a startup. At the end of the day, some people just think, oh, you know, I have this idea, I could create a startup and then it would just take off just like that. But in most cases, people really underestimate just how much work actually goes into it. But if you were just to lease an idea out, literally just pitch it to the big company, you would just make sure that everything is in order based on the paperwork. From what I've heard, I just talked to somebody less than a week ago. They was explaining to me their paperwork for the actual leasing agreement was less than 10 pages. Actually, two people told me that. Two people told me, and this is a huge company and a small company, and both of them told me the most hardest thing to do is really to just get them on board with the product. If you can get past that point, you don't even have to too much worry about the paperwork. It's not gonna be that deep at all. So I want to give you guys a legit example of the leasing business model, right? So this is pretty much a video that I found on Instagram. Let me just show you guys real quick, right? So as you guys can see, it's typically a regular type of charger, but what's different about this one is the fact that you actually have those magnets that's on the charger that kind of eliminates you from actually making the wires get tangled when you just put it in your pocket, put it in your backpack. We all have had this issue where we just did not want to just untangle the charger, but now with these magnets that's on it, it kind of allow you to keep those wires nice and neat. And this is really clever. So like the person who came up with the magnets for the charger, because clearly that person probably didn't come up with the charger, right? They're not really too much pushing the charger. They're more so pushing the fact that magnets are added onto the charger to help people no longer have to go through that whole hassle of having to untangle the charger. So this person who came up with this specific idea, he can patent the fact that he had magnets on a charger or any wire in general, really. This could also be added into headphones. But just the fact that now you could just go to different charger companies, right? All types of different charger companies and say, hey, you know, I could add these magnets to you guys' charger section like grow, because more people will be prone to want to buy it because you won't have like tangled chargers, right? So typically people could go in and actually take on all of that and just say, yes, you know, I'm willing to go in and change all of my chargers to actually look exactly like how this one looked and have magnets on it, because more and more people would definitely prefer this one over the one that's already on the market versus the one that you guys are probably using right now to charge up your phone. So something as simple as that is pretty much a leasing idea that you can do. And you can just say, yo, you know, you guys could just add these magnets to your charger, give me a percentage off each charger being sold. And just think about all of the chargers that's pretty much sold every year. Think about how many chargers you go through over a course of a year. Then think of how many people in the world buy chargers or go through more than one a year. So you got to just like look at it from that standpoint when you think about the royalty or like leasing idea. Then like I said, I mean, you guys have already did everything. If you're the inventor, you didn't already completed everything. You didn't already pretty much went to this company and kind of revealed your idea. And also, I mean, they don't have to keep it. You can make this a specific time limit. You could say you guys can lease it out for 3 years. You guys can actually make my idea for 3 years. I have it created, I have it patented. You guys could use it for this specific time limit, and then after that, that's up. Now we're gonna have to either come up with a bigger percentage deal, or you know, you guys may have to pay me a little bit more based on the results of those past years or so. But typically, you just give a company a range and they'll pretty much decide whether or not they're willing to agree or not. Some people say around 3 years is like the average time for like leasing ideas. That's a good time frame to really tell whether or not, oh yeah, this product is a legit product. It lasted 3 years out. So lastly, I'm pretty sure you guys sitting back thinking like, man, so like what's the numbers? What's the actual percentage that I will get, which will be considered good or legit, right? basically based on the research that I've seen, for one, it all depends on the product. I mean, you gotta really think. Some of this stuff ranges from like something that's probably like $1,000 that you'll lease out all the way to something that probably costs $2. So typically from what I heard though, I heard in most cases around 10% is really good. Can it be higher? Of course, it can go all the way higher, or it could be all the way as low as just 1%. Like the range, it varies from what I heard from different people who actually have licensing agreements. I done heard different type of percentages, but all of them also tell me, and based on some of the research that I also did, it all really depends on the product, right? Like pretty much with that charger example I just showed you guys. Imagine if Apple comes to that same person and say, I like these magnets, how you put that on the charger. I want all of our chargers from now on to have these particular magnets, and we'll give you a 1% royalty or a 5% royalty. Really think of how much money that will be in retrospect to all of the people that actually own an iPhone right now. Like, that'll be ridiculous. Or I mean, Apple could look at that product and say, okay, they don't want to actually do that 1% royalty deal, or they don't want to do X, Y, and Z. They could work around it and then come up with their own type of solution sometimes. So it's really good to really consider some of these percentages and really think about the numbers sometimes, instead of just immediately backing out just because you feel like it's kind of low. Sometimes you really got to sit down and really just think about the numbers. I'm an engineer, so I'm always think about the numbers, you know what I'm saying? And that concludes this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It really do help my channel when it comes down to the YouTube algorithm. If you guys have any questions regarding anything, just hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on the gram at DreThePlug123. And then also go check out my other YouTube channel. This is actually my second channel. My first one was called ClassicCuts. I basically go in and give tutorials about all types of different haircuts. I actually show people how to do different type of things with the clippers that has never been done, and I pretty much go into detail as to why certain things happen. So definitely go check out that channel. Besides that, be on the lookout for my next content that's dropping. Be on the lookout for it because it's coming real soon. And I'm out.